Welcome to a video about Nagoya that's not actually about Nagoya. We are basing ourselves here in order to take 3 pretty epic looking day trips. We are going to be hiking part of the historic Nakasendo Trail, visiting Japan's oldest original castle in Inuyama, and we're going to be going to probably the thing I'm looking forward to the most, the new Ghibli Theme Park. So this day is just going to be a constant race against time. Don't miss the end where we'll show you a little bit of Nagoya just in case you decide to base yourself here as well to do some incredible looking day trips. This might be one of the best cities in Japan for day trips. Let's hit it. We are off on the first of our 3 epic day trips from Nagoya. What we've chosen for today is walking part of the Nakasendo Trail. This is a very historic trail that runs through Japan. We are walking part of the section that exists between Tokyo, formerly known as Edo, and Kyoto. And this particular section that we're doing is very well documented in English, so it's super accessible, starting here in the city of Magome. Nakasendo Trail was a strategic inland trading and communications route, and portions of it date back as far as the 7th century. The starting and ending towns on this section have been carefully and beautifully preserved, so you can imagine what it might have been like to take this journey hundreds of years ago. If these cobblestones could talk, I bet they'd have some incredible stories to tell. Towns along the trail became known as post towns, and they have accommodations and food for travelers. Thankfully, that's still true today because we're hungry.
We've got a long day of hiking ahead of us, and so we want to make sure that we're well fed and fueled. So we stopped by and we got a couple of dumplings.
It looks like a shell. Are they dumplings? They're more like a dough pastry thing filled with stuff.
Yeah.
That is the technical description for it.
They had a number of flavors. We got 1 chestnut and 1 custard cream filled.
And if we did this right, I'm going to be trying chestnut and he's going to try the cream, but I'm not sure I trust him keeping track of the flavors.
So to me it smells like it's made of egg, like a popover or Yorkshire pudding maybe, with very different fillings.
Did yours taste like cream?
Yeah, it's kind of like a pancake with a filling in it, and it's just a little bit creamy. It's about the consistency of lemon curd. Yeah, like a custard flavor. It's good.
Mine appears to have an actual chestnut in it. Right there.
Now that we got some food in our bellies, we are ready for a good hike.
My guide map says this is a new board from the old times.
So we're here on a holiday week and it's somewhat crowded, at least in the village. And now we're getting outside the village and we're hoping we'll have the path more to ourselves.
We even saw a tour bus drop people off, which maybe is just a normal thing. This is a very well-traveled route. When you go to the tourist information office, you can actually get a brochure that's even in English that talks about the trail as you go from one city to the next, which is really cool and helpful, and actually one of the reasons why we chose to do this one.
So far, the trail is very well signed, and we are on our way to go to Tsumago. Our hike today covers a lot of mountainous areas, and we keep seeing signs saying, beware of the bears and that kind of thing. There's also bells that you can ring in order to scare the bears away. Apparently they don't like that sound. And we're even seeing a lot of hikers with bells on their bags and things, so they just naturally jingle.
Sometimes we also share the road with vehicles, it seems. It's not all trails. There are times when you dip in and out of the road. And here comes the car. So far, we are really enjoying the trail. Even though it's next to the road, you never know what surprises are in store. And by that, I mean, there's a giant bamboo grove right next to the road, and we absolutely love bamboo. Wow.
Walking along the trail here, there's occasionally free rest areas, they call them. It's a good thing because we've been pretty much going straight up on the trail the entire time.
This one has Wi-Fi. Can't figure out why there's internet up here. Did the Shogun need to connect to the internet to tell everybody who he was conquering next? I don't know. There's a car.
We're just crossing into Nagano Prefecture, and we think we're at the pass. We hope.
Well, it is about 1:30 and we are finally sitting down to have some lunch, and I'm super excited. We're gonna have some soba noodles, and that sounds perfect for a day of walking.
You didn't even break the noodle.
Well, that was a handy little lunch spot. That hit the spot. Noodles, and we had hot broth, and it was just a delicious little break at the very top of the mountain pass. Now we head back down, which also usually in our experience means a little bit of up and then more down.
Kind of sounds like a frog.
God, it's got to be a frog.
Are you trying to scare one out?
Yeah.
We can't find it, but there was a really cool sounding frog back there. Just had a weird echo.
We are just a little ways down from the pass, and there is a tea house down here. It is run by volunteers, and you can have some tea for free. Feel free to also give a little bit of donation in consideration for their time and effort. We are bypassing this because we just finished lunch and we're feeling a little full of liquids, so we're gonna keep going. But if you do this walk, know that this is a really good stop to make. There's also a bathroom here, and depending on the time of year,
Cherry blossoms.
We think they're beautiful. Although I kind of expected them to be like this brighter pink, the pale pink is still lovely. It's just gorgeous. That was really cool. I did not think that we would get to see cherry blossoms anywhere in Japan. We are here in very late spring, and so we knew the chances were tiny. To find them on this trail today is really pretty cool.
It's pretty amazing. Last time we saw cherry blossoms was in Taiwan at Alishan. If you haven't seen that video, click the link, or over here, wherever the link is, somewhere up here.
has felt like all day today we have had a river or a stream or a waterfall of some kind right next to the trail, and this is just the latest of many. It is really cool to be walking along the trail and have the sound of the water right next to you. Unless you're walking next to us and then you have the sound of us talking next to you. Sorry.
And we've passed the halfway point to get to Tsumago. It's taken us 3 hours to this point. Now we've heard that this whole trail can be done in about 3 hours, but it takes us a lot longer to film things. Also, this looks like a really fun place for motorcycles. I've been enjoying ringing the bells.
Every time we run into him, he just gives them one decisive ring, as though he's happy with the service at Arby's. Not like he's trying to save our lives and scare away a bear. We need multiple rings. You ring that freaking bell. You ring it as hard as you can, as though your life depends on it, because maybe it does. I think they know we're coming.
That's really loud.
Oh my God.
If you think it's loud, so where you're standing, try standing right here.
Not the one little ding. Well, yeah, good for you.
I'm happy with my journey through the forest. How's that?
I guess. It is so cool to think of the history that the stones beneath me have seen. It is so cool to think that parts of this path are exactly how they were hundreds of years ago. Who knows how many people went before us on this exact trail. And just to know the deep history that is on this trail as we're walking along it, it's pretty incredible to go on the same exact route.
Bill has entered the chat.
What, do you have anything else to say?
This is lovely. That's all I gotta say. This is great. Fresh air, beautiful scenery.
Every now and then we come across like a small village that we get to walk through. Oh, and this one has cute little wooden puppies. Okay, this one's my favorite, obviously. I don't know where we are. We are close to the end of our walking for the day. I think we have like 1.5 kilometers left. But first I have to show you these wooden puppies. Oh my gosh, how amazing are these?
I think they're all dachshunds.
Oh my gosh, I love them. Hi! They're so cute.
All these villages are just so stinking cute and charming.
Mainly downhill, but a little bit up. Remember the bamboo grove that we were so excited about earlier in the day when we were just starting out and it was a small thing next to the road? Well, we should have waited because this one is bigger and amazing. If you are interested in doing this walk, the direction that we did this in had more downhill than uphill. Of course there's both, no matter what direction you do it in, but if you'd like to have a slightly easier time on your knees, you might want to do it in the opposite direction of how we did it. Going uphill just somehow seems a little bit easier on my knees, and I'm feeling for sure the downhill part of today. How about you, Bill?
My legs are pretty tired. I'm about ready to take a load off and have some dinner.
So if you want to switch that up, do it in the reverse direction from what we did and don't start in Magome. One of the reasons that we started in Magome is not because there's more downhill than up, but actually because there is a direct bus from Nagoya Station to Magome. It's a short walk after you reach the bus station. You need to walk 15 or 20 minutes, but we appreciated only having one bus to take and not having any trained bus connections that we had to worry about.
Everything's been really easy to find on this entire walk, and everything's been extremely well signed, and we didn't make so much as a wrong turn, which never happens.
One of my tips for you is make sure that if you do this walk and you buy the tourist postcard proving that you did the walk, make sure that you get to the Tourist Information Center before they shut. And we got our final stamp proving that we did the walk from Magome to Tsumago. Proof that we made it. Yay! And now we have a little bit of time to look around the town, and this town looks pretty cool. Take a bus to a nearby town that has a JR rail station so that we can head back to Nagoya, completing our journey for the day. It is a 2-hour train ride back, and I think our biggest challenge is going to be staying awake.
We are here for our second day of pretty epic day trips from Nagoya. We are here at Inuyama, and somewhere back there is one of the oldest castles still remaining in Japan.
Actually, it is reported to be the oldest remaining original castle in all of Japan, so we knew we had to visit it when we were so close in Nagoya. Not only that, but the walk to get here parades you past all of these cute shops and the most street food I think I've ever seen anywhere in Japan. So we are definitely hitting that after the castle, but first it's up to the castle. Are you excited?
This is as excited as I get.
One of the reasons why this castle has lasted so long is that it is highly defensible. The stone walls that surround this are really tall, and there are multiple gates that invaders would have to go through in order to actually get into the castle. So I guess that's why it's still here. Nobody was able to knock it down, including Mother Nature. Wow, look at this view. The view from up here is spectacular. Also, the railings are quite low. But the views just can't be beat. Wow, we can see all the way to Nagoya where we came from here. It's just incredible. This looks like it's fake behind me. Like, that's how great this view is. I would be terrified if I ran into this out on some field somewhere. This was easily the most unique castle in Japan that we have been to, period. Starting with the super steep stairs that take us all the way to the top, to the incredible viewpoint, and the fact that the castle has stood here for several hundred years. It's absolutely incredible. This is a don't miss if you go to Nagoya. This is absolutely worth the day trip. Now, as usual, we are hungry, so as promised, we're gonna go hit some of those stalls that we walked by on the way in, because this one, constantly hungry.
I'm hungry, let's go.
It's just his normal state of being, especially when we're walking this much. To be fair though, we do not eat enough when we walk on really heavy days like yesterday, and we definitely did not eat enough yesterday. So maybe we'll go make up for it now. I think we're really lucky there's no lines today. Check this out.
start off, we're gonna check out this thing called Kokotomo. And we're not really sure what it is. It looks like a donut. And Heather cannot resist a good donut, even if we're not sure it's a donut. It might be a donut.
So to summarize, this isn't really a choice. It looks like they have donuts. Thus, we are going in. Smells so much like strawberries. I've never been so excited to have a donut on a stick, I think, in my life. I'm so excited. I'm not sure I've ever had a donut on a stick. We have to start with how these smell because they are so strawberry smelling. This might be a case where we should have purchased more than one. Because Bill's gonna want to try it. Nothing is ever the way I expect it to be. This is made from a rice flour, and I believe it's gluten-free. And I've had a lot of gluten-free baked goods in my life, but none of them are as tender and moist as this one. The strawberry flavor is not in-your-face strawberry. It actually tastes very naturally strawberry, and it's delicious. My only problem with it, really, is how small it is. They also had strawberries and were suckers. Oh, yeah.
I think you killed that one.
We do love our strawberries. Well, that was a lot of fun. I don't think I've had a donut yet on this trip, and I try to always have a donut actually
every day?
Most days.
Yeah.
It's true.
She's a sucker.
We're kind of starting with dessert first, but that's showbiz. That's the way it goes. It's the first one we came to.
Showbiz? Is that what we're doing? Wow.
So we'll go backwards. So now let's see what the next course is going to be if we're going backwards from dessert.
We decided to get some heated beef because we were recently in Takayama and really enjoyed it there. And it's a good thing there are 6 pieces. There's not an odd number, so we're not going to fight over them because it's always really good. Melt in your mouth, tender, very flavorful, nice and juicy.
Is it as good as we remember?
I think it was better in some of the more expensive places, but it's very, very good. But when we were in Takayama, we went to some nice places.
Don't be mad at us for him saying that, because we also tell the truth on this channel. And it's hard to beat the beef in Takayama because that was absolutely delicious. That is delicious. There's just something about the taste of heated beef that is like a chef's kiss. But Bill's right, it was a little bit better in Takayama, but this is still delicious. Well, a piece of advice that we have for you if you decide to do this as a day trip is to make sure you start early enough. We started a little bit late because it was raining out and a lot of the shops are already closing and it's only 4:30. So too bad for us, but we make the mistakes, so hopefully you won't make them.
next food, we got something we think is called Inuyama monkey balls. Monkey balls? Monkey balls.
They're not monkeys.
Anyway, we've really enjoyed mochi other places that we've had it, mainly in Taiwan. It's about time we tried it in Japan. Oh, it's really hot. So it tastes like mochi. It's warmed up, so it's almost got a cheese, like a melted cheese-like consistency. And it's got a nice sesame glaze on the outside, so it's a little bit sweet and a little bit salty at the same time. It's very good. Heather might even like it.
I like a lot of things. I like a lot of things, including this. Well, this is what the place looks like at 5 p.m.
Pretty empty on a weekday, even if it's on Golden Week.
We had planned to eat so many things along the street on our way out, so a little bit of a bummer for today, but as I said earlier, you guys can learn from our mistake. Ah, shoot. Well, I guess that means that we need to go back and prepare for epic day trip number 3 from Nagoya, because what's coming up tomorrow, maybe we've saved the best for last. See you there. Today is our 3rd day of 3 epic day trips from Nagoya, and it's the day I'm maybe looking forward to the most, despite the rain that is forecast. We are at Ghibli Theme Park today. Now, this is not like theme parks that we have in the United States where there's tons of roller coasters and rides everywhere. Instead, this is an immersive experience where Ghibli Park brings to life many of the movies that we've watched. It's a day we've been looking forward to. We had to get the tickets 2 months ago. This is going to be amazing. Oh, wow.
Okay, thank you.
It changed it without me clicking it. I was not expecting that. We're in the warehouse. It took maybe 25 minutes to get in, so I wish that we had gotten here a little bit earlier this morning. And now we're not really sure what our strategy should be. Should we stand in the line that's only gonna get longer as the day goes on? Or maybe we should totally skip that line so that we can do everything else while everybody else is standing in line? There's so much to do here that honestly we know 7 hours isn't enough, even if we completely forego eating altogether. So this day is just gonna be a constant race against time, and it's gonna be such a challenge because everything in here looks so amazing. I mean, look at this. I'm just standing in this random spot off to the side, and I got a cool friend right behind me keeping me company while I left Bill in line. I don't know, figuring out the strategy for this one is really hard. But we're in and we're here. I'm so excited. This is probably a good place to mention. If you haven't seen any of these movies, you really should watch at least one. They are beautifully done and imaginative, with important messages about things like nature, perseverance, self-acceptance, and even love. really cool. It was really fun to sort of immerse ourselves in a bunch of scenes from the movie that we've seen. We did skip No Face because that line was really long, and it turns out that if you skip No Face, you can just enter in and take your photo or videos with all the other scenes. So that was a sacrifice we had to make because, as I mentioned earlier, we're a little bit stressed about the time today. That was worth it to still be able to go through though. I'm really happy we did that. So that is one of our early tips for you. If you want to skip the line, this is where you go. Enter directly in and take your photo or videos with everything else except No Face. You have to decide if that's worth it to you. This is where you would go. Totoro is both larger and smaller than I thought that he would be. Okay, this room seems to be sort of like a warehouse for movie props, except the movies are animated, so I think that this is staged just for the park, which is sort of wild. From Princess Mononoke. And over here we have Howl's Moving Castle. It looks like that's maybe about 10 feet tall. I could do bill for scale, but we'd be thrown in jail. I'd like to thank the Academy and my parents and, just kidding, the Boy and the Heron won an incredible award. Congratulations to them for a fantastic animated film, and the Oscars right here, you can look at it. Like 7 feet from me, it's amazing. This chair is so big that 2 of us fit. There's also a Totoro one, which I kind of want for my home. Who doesn't want this in their living room? I want this. Oh, there's Kiki. Again. Oh, wow. Look, all the different covers of different movies. Holy cats. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. To see them in all the different languages. That's so impressive. Now to find Little World. Arietti, we're coming for you. The Secret World of Arietti is actually based on a book called The Borrowers. The inventive story follows a tiny family that lives inside a house's walls. We're now inside the walls, where Arietti would climb inside the house. But their presence is discovered by the humans who live there, and that threatens their very existence. This is the dad's workshop in the secret life of Arietti. Oh, it lets out into the garden. Oh, how cool, we shrink. We shrink. That dandelion is taller than us. Here's Bill for scale. Look, we're so small now. pretty cool. They have the grates that you can take your photo in front of and the sugar cube from the very beginning. So cool. The details are amazing. In this case, one person's trash really is somebody else's treasure. My name, Heather, is actually a flower. So I kind of feel like I'm among where I belong with the flowers because my name is a flower. So here I am, natural habitat, bunch of flowers that are my size. Seems fitting. The details in these displays are so impressive. Like nothing is left unturned. If there's a way to add in more detail, they're adding in more detail. It's just really impressive. We successfully purchased some gifts. It got super crowded in there toward the end, so I'm glad that we went in toward the beginning of our visit to the warehouse. So that's probably another useful tip for you. If you are at the warehouse earlier in the day, get to the gift shop earlier rather than later. It really fills up and it gets very crowded and it's hard to move around. But success! The biggest shop in the park is inside of the warehouse, and you cannot re-enter the warehouse after you leave it, and that includes the shop. So if you're like us and have an entry to the warehouse first thing in the morning, know that you're gonna have to carry your gifts and things that you purchase for yourself around with you for the rest of the day, which is fine. That's something that we're willing to do, but a little bit of a bummer. I wish this shop was separate and not controlled. That way we could go at the end of the day. Oh well. Well, we are done at the warehouse, and this park is huge. There's not a possibility of us seeing everything we want to today. So we are selecting the places that we want to go to based on the movies that are our favorites. So we are headed to Dondoko Forest, which is where we can find my neighbor Totoro's stuff like Satsuki and Mei's house. And that's where we're headed to now. Also, if you hadn't noticed, yes, it is raining out today, but we have our umbrellas and we're prepared for it, and we're hoping that maybe the park would be a little bit less full today because of it. But wow, if it's this full on a rainy day, I would hate to see it on a beautiful day. Right when we walked in, there was a shop. And it is the tiniest shop, but it actually had things that we did not see at the main shop. So, wow, that's a lot of shopping. A lot of shopping opportunities here. Not that we mind, because we love this stuff, and so is our niece and nephew, and this is a great place for us to buy gifts. Except that that takes away from seeing all the super cool houses and all the exhibits that they have. I wish it was like one consolidated shopping experience, one giant experience at the end that was open an hour later than everything else. That would be super helpful. Behind me, you can see Satsuki and Mei's house. We are in Dondoko Forest, which is based on the movie My Neighbor Totoro. I am so curious to go through a house that's based on an animated movie that we saw. This is so cool. Well, this space is just as well thought out as everything that we saw earlier inside the warehouse, except that we can't show you any of it. In fact, from I think all of the houses that we're going to go into through the rest of the day, we're not going to be able to show you what's inside, but we'll still take you outside and in any shops that we see. The rest of it will have to remain a surprise until you come here yourself. They even have the bicycle that the two of them would use to ride into town. No detail overlooked, I'm telling you. There's a forest area near here that we had to have a ticket to enter. So I'm kind of wondering if there's actually Totoro up here? Maybe? So we're searching for Totoro, and I kind of feel like May in the movie. Yes. Totoro is up here. I love that Totoro is wearing his umbrella today, which feels appropriate given how much rain there is. We are now in the Valley of the Witches, and the things that we want to do here the most are Howl's Moving Castle and the Kiki's Delivery Service areas, but we are, as usual, running really short on time. We have about 2 hours left before it closes, and we'd like to also get in the shops now that we know that things are just a little bit different in every area that you go to. Also, if you come to Valley of the Witches, there's a restaurant right at the entry area, and their last order is about an hour before this area closes. We obviously don't have time for it. Otherwise, we do that. We're pretty hungry, right, Bill?
I'm very hungry. It did seem to have a shorter line than the one in Warehouse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. The Valley of the Witches is maybe the area I was looking forward to the most. Not because it has Howl's Moving Castle, which seems like it'll be super cool in person, but because this is modeled after like a European village. And we've been to Europe a bunch, and I think this will be really interesting. A taster of Europe and Japan. Kind of neat. This definitely does not look like Europe, and that is Howl's Moving Castle. I'm not sure what it looks like, but definitely not Europe. It looks really cool. Like something out of a steampunk novel. The next house that we're going in, that you're not, is where Kiki stayed before her parents sort of rudely kicked her out so she could come of her own as a witch. To be honest, I don't think that this house featured that much in the film. Maybe Kiki's loft that she stayed in once she got to the big city is also here, but we're gonna go in because we have a ticket for it. So, it's that white house behind me. I really wish that we could share this with you guys because the level of detail in all the houses is really fantastic. There's nothing that we can show you to help demonstrate how fantastic the detail is. It's hard to articulate, except to tell you it's just fantastic. That was for sure my favorite building or thing that we've interacted with today. You can look at all the bookshelves and be a little bit nosy and open up drawers and see what are inside of them. And here in the bookshelf, lo and behold, there's the entire series of Little House on the Prairie, which is a very popular book series specifically to the state that I come from. And to find it here inside of Kiki's house was like deeply unexpected. Deeply unexpected. I wanted to take a photo so bad, but you can't. So you're gonna have to take my word for it that the entire series of Little House on the Prairie is inside that house behind me. Also, that is a house that we would live in. It was so cute, super kawaii. The bread looks as good as it smells, but I'm not sure that we're gonna get any because we have to be in line by 4:30. Yeah, so hungry. Looks so good, smells so good. If you're planning to visit Ghibli Theme Park, you will need to decide whether you want a premium ticket or just a regular ticket. Now, a regular ticket gets you into the Grand Warehouse, which is where we started our day. A premium ticket allows you entrance into all the cool houses, which we were not able to show you, and so you're gonna wanna see them yourself anyhow. I will tell you though, that this park is way too big to do everything. You will have to make decisions. Like you saw earlier in the day, we skipped taking our photo with no face because we knew we didn't have time. Also, much to Bill's sadness, we have not eaten since breakfast, and it is 5 p.m., after 5 p.m.
You're not allowed to bring food into the buildings, but this is really a public park. The buildings are scattered within a public park, so you can bring things to eat, and that's okay to eat here. They have places, it's quite nice actually.
So overall, what do you think, Bill? Would we recommend it?
It takes a lot of planning with the tickets, and it takes work to get out here. We're about an hour, give or take, from Nagoya Station. It's worth it. It's really unique, and if you are a fan of the movies and you're in this area, I think you have to go. So
if you come to Nagoya and you do these day trips, you might wonder what else there is to do in Nagoya. Let us show you. Not far from Nagoya's main train station is the Toyota Commemorative Museum of Industry and Technology. That's a mouthful. Toyota got its start in textiles, and the first part of the museum is a huge section dedicated to textile work. Some of the machines were really impressive. This robot playing a violin was almost just as impressive. Yes, that really is a robot playing. Then Bill was literally blown away in their interactive exhibits.
It's getting really windy in here.
Before being metaphorically blown away by all the car models on display. You can also see how a car is assembled, but you can't see an actual assembly line in this museum. For that, you need to head to Mazda in Hiroshima. A little bit further from central Nagoya is the SC Maglev and Railway Park. This is an impressive museum with all sorts of fancy train engines that you can see up close and exhibits that explain the engines and Japan's rail history in a lot more detail. If you are especially ambitious, there's also a Legoland Japan right across the street from the train park. It seems that every major city in Japan has a beautiful castle, and Nagoya has a very large castle complex. Fortunately, we visited Inuyama Castle because Nagoya's main castle keep is not open for visitors, and there are plans to destroy it and have it rebuilt so it's safer. Nagoya's palace and castle gardens are still both open and beautiful to walk through, especially the palace. Depending on when you go, it's a very popular spot to see some of Japan's well-known pink flowers in bloom. Speaking of flowers, if you're interested in a nature escape in central Nagoya, Shirotori Garden is a fantastic choice. We spent several hours relaxing here admiring the flowers and the water features. They even had a small bamboo grove. We love to have a view that overlooks cities that we visit, and the Shubu Mirai Tower in Nagoya does not disappoint. Time your visit to coincide with a sunset to make the experience even more special. A premium ticket gains you— oh, there's something in my eye. God, there's something in my eye. I'm not— still recording?
Still recording.
Okay, my eyeball's in my eye. Okay.
That's good. Bill has entered the chat.
Can't say that. Oh my God, that did not go well for you. Oh, now what are you gonna do? Oh, this is so hard. Okay. Yeah, talking hard.